What's up, guys? Welcome back to A Sense of Travel with Michael Matheny. Today, we're taking it back to Washington, D.C. for another episode of my Washington, D.C. neighborhood walks in one of D.C.'s oldest and most famous neighborhoods, Georgetown. Let's go check it out. You can think of M Street sort of like Georgetown's main street. A lot of boutique shops, very expensive shops, restaurants, cafes, things like that. This is where you're going to find Georgetown Cupcake, which has a long-standing rivalry with Baked and Wired in terms of the best cupcake in Washington, D.C. If you're ever in town, that'll be for you to decide. Now, to place yourself imaginatively into the old brick and cobbled colonial streets of Georgetown, to feel the air. Well, first and foremost, at the time of this recording, it is July in DC. And if you don't know what that means, it's hot and the air feels like soup. But throughout the year, obviously that changes. DC gets all 4 seasons. So in the fall, the air is brisk and cool. And in the springtime, it's damp and warm. And in the wintertime, it's damp and chilly. Some years it gets snowy, some years it doesn't. It's kind of a mixed bag here in DC. Now here are some DC landmarks you didn't read about in your textbooks. Can you believe there are some old Georgetown residents who want those removed? It's ridiculous. Everything the light touches, Simba, is our kingdom. But what about that shadowy place? That is beyond our territory. Rosslyn, Virginia. You must never go there, Simba. Hoya Saxa, or something like that. Now, of course, depending on where you are in Georgetown, the soundscape really changes, right? So if you're here on campus, all you hear is the sounds of chirping birds, the occasional passerby walking around the campus, and the airplanes flying overhead. But otherwise, it's really peaceful. Now, of course, as you get down to the waterfront, it starts to sound like crowds, it starts to sound like water kind of clapping up and down from the boats. And as you get onto M Street, obviously, it's the sounds of bustling shoppers, footsteps on the brick sidewalks, all that good stuff, mixed in, of course, with the birds and the airplanes. So Georgetown's got a pretty diverse soundscape, you could say. Oh, and bells chiming, because we are at a nice old university, so don't forget the sounds of bells chiming. As you wander up and down the Georgetown waterfront here on the Potomac River, you're going to get wafts of boat fuel and fishy water and seafood coming from the local restaurants. You have a pretty eclectic blend of music, whether that's like EDM dance music or the kind of jazz we have going on in the background. You're going to see a lot of yachts and boats, I'll tell you that. Georgetown is, how do I say this, rich as hell. And there's a lot of people, it's just a lot of fun, you know, a lot of families out, a lot of people having ice cream, just chilling. It's a fun atmosphere, but it's even more fun if you're absolutely loaded. Now, while I've got you here, I'm going to use this video as a platform to talk about something that every Washingtonian thinks about at least a time or two a week, and that is DC Statehood. So a lot of people, and this kind of surprised me, don't realize that DC is actually a major city that people live in. Like, it's not just where the government of the US meets. Like, 700,000 people live in the district alone. 6 million people in the metro area. Like, it's no small town. What they also don't realize is that all 700,000 people that live inside of the District of Columbia don't have voting representation in the federal government that uses our city as its home base. We have no say in national decisions, or, by the way, local decisions. All of that can be overturned by the sitting Congress. That's just something to chew on. There is currently a movement for DC to become the 51st state. Instead of Washington District of Columbia, we would be known as Washington Douglas Commonwealth, attaining the DC. So, anyway, just something for you to chew on. Well, guys, that's a wrap on our Georgetown neighborhood walk. So, thanks for coming along. Hope you learned a few things about Georgetown and just added another layer to your understanding of Washington, D.C. And I do hope that through some of the senses that I've described while perusing through this pretty big neighborhood that you were able to imagine yourself here too. And I hope this is helpful for you if you're looking at attending Georgetown University, if you're looking to relocate to Washington, D.C., or if you're just curious. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.